morning, everyone, and welcome to our first session of the day. This is Blueprint for Immunity with Holli Rovenger. And so let me tell you a little bit about Holli Rovenger. She is a dietitian by trade whose mission is to empower women to step into their best lives for health, wealth, and happiness. Her background includes counseling patients in a private practice setting, teaching in corporate wellness programs. Good morning, everyone. Whoa! Welcome to our first session. Hold one second. That was exciting. Let's stop this. There we go. So can you hear me now? If you can, put a message in the box. But back to this. This is Holli Rovenger. And back to her credentials, she's also taught as an adjunct professor. She's co-author of today's specials, A Heart Healthy Cookbook. She's the author of the Simple and Sassy Guide to Financial Empowerment, 7 Critical Steps for Women to Learn How to Become Financially Savvy and Prepared, The Ultimate Travel Journal, A Woman's Blueprint to Crafting Meaningful Moments, Unforgettable Adventures, and Memories to Last a Lifetime, and The Little Black Book of Sassy Suggestions and Guilty Pleasures. She's the owner and creator of The Women's Inner Circle, and I'm going to let her pronounce that in a little bit. It's Edorai or Edorai. Anyway, she's going to help us with that one. So everyone, please welcome Holli Rovenger.
Thank you so much, Cindy, for having me. I can't tell you how humbled and honored I am that you asked me to be here. Very, very excited. And I'll tell you a little bit. The name is Edorai.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you just about the name also, because it actually is interesting. It's all about women's empowerment. I named it after my mom's name was Elaine for the E. My grandma's name was Dora for the middle, and my daughter's name is Danny. She has an I at the end, so Edorai. So it's about the 3 women who empowered me to be my best. And I'm hoping that we all get empowered to be our best and live our best lives. But it's also a play on words like Edorai, I adore I. Like, it's very important that we love ourselves first before we can expect anyone else to love us.
I love that. I can't believe I didn't ask you that before. That is so beautiful. Honestly, I thought it, and I will just say, I thought it was a biblical word, and okay, I should have looked it up. But anyways, it was just a quick assumption. It's like, oh, that's some word I've never heard before. I love it. So, okay, so tell us a little bit about you and your passions, and why you're passionate about what you do.
Okay, I've always been passionate about wellness. I think even as a little girl, I was always into, learning about the best things to do to stay healthy and well. And always, even before I went to college to learn about nutrition, I was eating better, I think, than everybody in my family. But after college, I'm sort of a dietitian gone rogue, if you will, because I never followed the traditional path of a dietitian, and sort of rebelled a little bit. Years ago, I let my registration lapse because I didn't like the political views of the association, where they were accepting money from Coca-Cola and companies like that. Like, it just went against my grain. So typically I color a lot outside the lines. I'm all about helping women step outside their comfort zones so that they can become the best they can be. So I did have a traditional education, but then after that, definitely went a little more rogue as far as not working in a hospital past a year. Like, I paid my dues. I worked in the hospital for a year, but beyond that, I worked with a food company for a while, and then went out on my own and did some private practice nutrition. And then I worked in doctor's offices, and then I worked in corporate wellness a lot. And then about 10 years ago was when I started online with women's empowerment. And that's, I guess it was a little while later that I created the Women's Inner Circle, which is all about total wellness and helping women, see there's just, and I think you and I talked about this before, there's just way more to wellness than people originally think at first glance. So that was about, I would say the Women's Inner Circle is about 5 years old. And then 3 years ago, I started Edorai because I wanted to create some products that weren't just natural, but they were natural and they worked, because I found a lot of products on the market. Either they were natural and didn't work the way I wanted, or they worked and they weren't natural. Now, the products do have a tiny bit of approved preservatives in them because I wanted them to be shelf stable and last a while. But they're as natural as can be. And when I hear somebody tell me how the product is helping change their lives, it's just so heartwarming. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're going to talk about your products later on, because there's one of your products I want you to tell me about, and I've already told you that I want you to tell me about it, and I've been waiting for over a week. It's like, okay, I need this product, but anyways, we'll get to that. Okay, so something happened in December, and you have alluded to it with me multiple times, but I want to hear the whole story. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, and it's really interesting because of the fact this happened to me, so many people look at me and say, oh my God, if it can happen to you, it can happen to me, and it can happen to everybody. And I think that's why I am just super, super passionate about getting the word out, this blueprint for immunity, that people really start looking deep, deep, deep into their wellness and taking care of themselves. So I have to be totally clear about the whole picture that happened with me. It started about 2 years ago, where I just noticed something wasn't right. And I'd like to tell all the women watching, I just feel super strong about this. If you notice something that isn't right with your body, see a doctor and insist on them going further, because women's bodies are so different than men. Our hearts are so different than men's, that we do need to be CEO of our own health, but we need to sometimes push the doctor to have us evaluated further. So what happened to me is, and I'll try to keep the story short, I do have an article on my site that goes into it in detail. But for the past 2 years on and off, I kept going to the doctor because I just didn't feel great. And he took my EKG, they did the blood work, everything was fine. Well, fast forward this past November, over Thanksgiving weekend, I was with my daughter up in Pittsburgh, and I walk for exercise. I have been a speed walker for well over 20 years. And it's very hilly in Pittsburgh, which is, different than Florida, which is pretty flat. And I noticed I was having pressure on my chest that was not the norm for when I was up there, and way trouble catching my breath. And I thought, this is really strange, and then you kind of put it in the back of your mind. And we continued with the weekend. And then Sunday, when I was back where I live, I was playing pickleball. And if anybody doesn't know what pickleball is, it's a combination of tennis, ping pong, badminton, and racquetball. Super, super fun, great exercise, and people play it well into their 80s. It's a wonderful sport. Well, I took one step on the court, swung my paddle to hit a ball, and I was like, pain in my chest, and I couldn't get my breath. And I was like, whoa, I was really taken back. So I started taking it easy and pausing in between hitting the ball. This went on for about 20 minutes till finally, and honest to God, Cindy, I said, self, if you don't stop playing right now, you're going to pass out. So I just told the people I was playing with I really needed to sit down. And then they were, of course, all concerned. You need to go to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh my God, this is like the busiest week for the whole year of my Edorai business, where I had all these events scheduled. So I'm thinking, I can't go to the hospital. I can't miss this week. So I just said, let's just walk around. I'll be okay. I feel better now. I'm walking around. But then the next day on Monday, I really started thinking, I can't take a chance with my health. I have to do something. So long story short, again, I checked myself into the ER, and that was on a Monday. By Thursday, they were doing the, oh my God, I'm having a mental lapse, the test where they actually go in. They went in through my wrist.
The echocardiogram?
Well, the echo was the picture of my heart. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of it. I've said it so many times, but long story short, they found 3 blockages in my LAD, which is one of the arteries that leads to and from your heart. And they had to put 3 stents in. And when I got out, I mean, you can't see me, my body, but I'm at my appropriate healthy weight. I eat right, or so I thought. Exercise. I practice everything I preach to women, all about empowerment, positive thoughts, you name it. And yet this happened to me.
And
So,
you're a dietitian on top of that.
exactly. So, I know what to do, and I thought I was doing it, but bottom line is, when you force yourself to really look at what you're doing, you could definitely do better. There's always room for improvement. And I realized that, wow, I need to make more changes to not only my diet, but also my lifestyle, healthier changes. So then I just started really digging into this whole topic of immunity and really, boosting your immune system, and realize that it has just become my passion to share with as many people as possible.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad that this is I'm not glad that that happened, but I'm glad that this is what it brought you to, so that you could enlighten people. Because yeah, I mean, when you look at someone who's from your perspective or my perspective, if I look at someone who is a registered dietitian, who's an expert in that field, who's got who seems to be very active, physically active, and in good shape, and at the right body weight, and all of that, and then something like this happens, it's like, oh wow, that could be me. Although I'm even more at risk, I guess you would say, because I do have that extra weight, and because I'm less active. What's that word? I'm more still. I mean, there's a word, and like you, it's just.
Yeah, so we do that. I know.
More. Oh goodness, you're going to say it.
You're sedentary. You're more sedentary.
Thank you. That's it. Sedentary. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say. Now, do you have like anything specific that you would like to address with us or share with us?
Yeah, I do. I have 7 points that I wanted to touch upon today, as far as boosting or strengthening your immune system. And, people automatically go to the nutritional aspect. Well, what nutrients should I, be eating? What vitamins should I be taking? And while that is part of it, and I will talk about it, there's a lot more to it. We are all stressed right now. I think a lot of us are fearful, we're concerned, and we genuinely should be, because of everything going on. But stress is a major cause of inflammation in our bodies. And most, if not all, chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes, heart problems, Alzheimer's, being overweight, it's caused by inflammation. So if we can take control of the inflammation in our body, we can make our immune system healthier. So getting back to stress, which is the cause, stress can be from the environment, stress can be from the foods we eat, Stress can be from our mental state, what's impacting us. So I really think it's important for everybody to learn managing their stress and management techniques to handle their stress. So, one of the things in managing your stress is to realize that there are going to be events outside our control. Women sometimes become these, controllers. I think that's our nature because we're such caregivers and we take charge. But there are events outside our control, and we just have to accept that and take a deep breath and say, that's okay. I'm just going to deal with this in a constructive way. Another way to manage stress is to be, instead of aggressive with something, is to be more assertive. And a perfect example I can use about this is going back 3 weeks. I was walking with a friend of mine, and we were social distancing. We were spread apart on the street, and a car came by, and the man, we didn't hear him. He was very quiet rolling down the street, and he starts shaking his fist at us. And we were like, we didn't hear you. And that's a very aggressive behavior. And he could have managed that better. He could have tapped gently on his horn, or he could have rolled down his window and said, hey, ladies, I'm right behind you. So that's a more assertive way to manage your stress rather than aggressively manage it. The other thing is we need to really take time for ourselves each and every day. I noticed that a lot of the women that were speaking on this summit are younger and they have children at home. You're doing a lot of caretaking right now, but it's very important for women to take time for themselves every day. I don't care if it's just a walk outside for 15 minutes by yourself, looking at the sunrise, watching the sunset, going out and smelling some flowers, whatever it is, it could be as glamorous as, filling a bubble bath and putting on some music and having a glass of wine if you're allowed to have that. But take time for yourself. I can't stress how strongly I feel about that. That's what that little black book of Sassy Suggestions and Guilty Pleasures is about. Different ideas for women on pampering themselves each and every day. So it could be a big thing, or it could be something, very small. I think you can manage your stress with doing hobbies. I think you can manage it with reading. Now, reading, all the studies show that when you do reading, your heart rate slows, you become in a way more relaxed state. So reading is a wonderful way to manage stress. And one thing I love about reading is I feel I'm taking a vacation when I'm reading a book. Sometimes if the book is so good, I get depressed when I'm finished because I miss the characters. You know what I mean? It's like you become part of their whole life. They become part of your everyday existence. So reading is wonderful. Listening to music is wonderful. If you live near an ocean and you're allowed to walk by the ocean, of course, that's wonderful. That's why on so many meditation tapes, you hear the ocean water in the background. That constant movement of the waves is very soothing and very relaxing. But sometimes even just looking at a picture, of the beach can be soothing to you, closing your eyes and visualizing yourself there. Management techniques such as yoga, meditation, stretching, a lot of people are aware of stress management techniques, but it's a matter of putting them into practice. And I think that's where most of us fall short, is a lot of us are constantly in learning mode, but it's a matter of implementing, taking the steps to do what you learn. So stress management and handling stress is key as far as boosting your immunity. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Of course.
One thing, stress doesn't have to be negative, right? You can experience stress And it could be a positive stress, like a new job. That's not a negative thing. Or a wedding, or, planning a party. Those are good things, but you can still have stress-related symptoms, right?
Exactly. Well, and that there's a difference between acute stress and chronic stress. Like, they say like that stress, which is really positive, is, God forbid you see somebody you love, like a car is coming and you rush and grab them and pull them out of the way. That's like an acute stress. It happens and it's over. Chronic stress is just when your body is feeling it over and over again. And that is really harmful for your body. And that's what affects your immune system.
Yeah.
Getting excited, or I think you're talking about more like nerves, like getting, that feeling of jitters, like, going to a wedding or planning a party. It's not that negative, stress, which can really affect you. Like you said, it's just positive. It's more exciting than something that can just be beating your body up.
Gotcha.
But, learning how stress can affect you and your body, just really even thinking about that can really make people take the steps to doing something positive about it. Just to jump ahead a little bit, the guidelines to cut back on sugars, fried foods, gravies, processed foods, white flours, anything white. People hear them, they say, yeah, I'm going to get to that. But what you don't realize is those kind of foods cause your immune system to, what's the word I'm thinking of? It prevents the immune system from functioning optimally. It's the opposite. So yeah, while it's so healthy to cut out all those foods, it's also because they're preventing from your immune system to function. So, all right, so I digressed a little bit. So yeah, stress management is one thing. The next thing is sleep. When you don't sleep well, guess what happens? Your immune system doesn't function as well. And I bet you we can ask a question of all the ladies watching this, like how many of you have had trouble sleeping in the past? We can all probably relate to that. I know a lot of times when myself and my friends get together, that is one of the big things we talk about. Hey, did you have a good night's sleep last night? Because it is so important to us. But sleep does prevent your immune system from functioning optimally. And there are many different techniques you can use to have a better sleep. Just for example, setting up a bedtime routine and sticking to it, not watching heart-stopping TV, an hour before you're ready to go to sleep. I talked about in my presentation that I did on strengthening your immune system. Do you remember the show 24? Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it was a great show years ago, but it was on at 9:00 at night, and I found that I couldn't watch it at night because I couldn't fall asleep. It had your heart racing so much. So we taped it and then we watched it at a later time. But the whole idea is to do calming activities before you're ready to go to sleep. One of the worst things we all do is look at our electrical or technical appliances, like our iPads, our computers, our cell phones, and that light from there actually signals your body to produce cortisol, which is the wake-up hormone. And we don't want that when we're ready to go to sleep. We want our body to be producing melatonin, which is the slow down and the sleep hormone. So you want to avoid looking at our little technical toys that we all rely so much on. I mean, you just look at internet usage the past month, it is up quite a bit. We're all on here. I mean, this is a very productive way to use internet time. And I really give you a lot of kudos for arranging this at this particular time. It's wonderful because so many people are not using this, the internet time in such a constructive way. So sleep, getting proper sleep is critical. Avoiding alcohol in excess. I can't tell you how many people have posted about ordering cases of wine, ordering cases of alcohol. And, oh, here's a stadium full of people in 2021. This is Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, while there are funny jokes, we really have to be careful about how much alcohol we're consuming, because alcohol interferes with your body's absorption of nutrients. And in addition, it causes your immune system to function suboptimally. So we definitely want to be careful about how much alcohol we're consuming. You know, certainly if you're allowed to by your physician, a glass of red wine every night is fine, and that's healthy because it's relaxing. Although you don't want to do that too close to bedtime, because again, that can disrupt your whole sleep routine. So stress, sleep habits, alcohol, I'll get to nutrition in a minute, but exercise, crucial to your immune system. And I think it was Dara that talked a little bit about physical fitness. I thought that was fabulous. I encourage people to do minimally 4 times a week of aerobic exercise, which is the exercise, you know, that's what gets your heart pumping, whether it's a brisk walk, a fast bike ride, aerobic dance, something aerobic for 30 minutes, 4 times a week. But the other thing, you know, we tend to forget about is stretching, like yoga. That's also critical to your immune system. So you have aerobic exercise, you have strength. You have your stretching, and you have strength training, which is the third aspect, which is weightlifting. And I don't mean heavy weightlifting, Cindy. I just mean something that can boost your muscle strength. So something as easy as doing, you know, push-ups or pull-ups, light weights, just a lot of repetitions to get your muscles working, you know. So muscle building is critical too to helping build our immune system. Drinking lots of water. You know, our body is made of so much water. Water helps every cell function in the body. It helps flush the toxins out of our body. It's critical to be drinking enough water. One way you can find out how much water you in particular need, and I'm speaking to everybody as you divide your weight in half. You know, you divide your weight in half, and that's how many ounces you should be drinking a day. The general guideline is 8 glasses a day, but if you want it exactly, take your weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces. But there's so many other things that influence that, whether you're on medication, whether you have to restrict, you know, your intake of fluids, depending on if you're on a special diet. If you do exercise excessively, you know, you may be sweating more, so you may need a lot of water. I should mention that moderate exercise is what helps your immune system. Excessive exercise does not. That's a real critical point. Water, exercise. Okay, so as far as nutrition, this is a biggie. And this is what I found out I was not doing enough. And had I done it, perhaps I would have had my incident back in December. Everybody hates to hear this, but if you research any evidence-based meal plan, they all recommend the same thing. Eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Now, science also does validate that people who eat more fruits and vegetables have a healthier immune system. So I thought all these years I was eating enough fruits and vegetables, but when I really, you know, sat down and thought about it, I know for sure, while I do love fruits and I love vegetables, I was not doing it consistently. That's where I fell off, and I think that's where most people fall off. They don't do it consistently enough. So eating more fruits and vegetables is crucial. Fruits and vegetables contain phytochemicals, antioxidants, tons of vitamins, minerals, fibers, all good for our health and our immunity. One of the things also with nutrition that I encourage people to do is to get a vitamin D checkup. And that's something you'll do with your doctor. But I feel very comfortable saying, after doing tons of research, that the majority of women in the United States do not get enough vitamin D. And most of us will be recommended to take a vitamin D3 supplement. So, that's really important. Also, something that people may want to look into are probiotics. That's a whole interesting topic because did you know that about 60% of your immune system is housed in your gut, in your digestive system? It's a real interesting fact, but it does. That's where it's housed. And the probiotics are healthy bacteria in what we call our microbiome in our digestive tract. And probiotics, a lot of us possibly need more. And that's something, again, I wouldn't recommend, but I would suggest you talking with your healthcare provider. And probiotics should contain some prebiotics as well. Prebiotics you can think of as a fertilizer, if you will, for probiotics. So they work hand in hand. They're kind of, I call it, they work in symphony. But that, that's something I would also encourage people to consider. Vitamin C, so common, everybody thinks about that. I think you should eat vitamin C with your fruits and your vegetables, your citrus fruits, peppers. Most people think oranges, grapefruits, if you can tolerate. Strawberries have some vitamin C. A good way to take your vitamin C is to have it with a source of iron, because that will help with your vitamin C absorption. But vitamin C is the most common nutrient, I think, is far as what people think of with their immunity. A vitamin C supplement, I would say, talk to your doctor about. What most people don't realize is vitamin C is water soluble. So if you take too much, you're just going to pish it out when you go to the bathroom. So it's probably not going to, to hurt you in any way, but it's something I would talk to your doctor about. The other key nutrient is zinc, which most of us do probably get enough. But again, if you're concerned about taking a supplement, I would definitely speak with a healthcare provider before taking any of these. But, they're all needed to boost a healthy immune system. But go ahead.
I have a question. What about supplements? Are there, you hear people say, or I've heard, supplements that just, go right through your body. They do you no good. And of course we know that it's best to get our vitamins and minerals through our food. But is there such thing as good supplements that really are absorbed? I mean, I know you're suggesting, sometimes we need a vitamin C or a vitamin D, but I just hear that that supplements are a waste of time.
Here's the thing. And, we'll talk about what I created over on the Women's Circle for people. There is so much malarkey as far as information out there, and we are in information overload as a society. There are a lot of people preaching about nutrition and supplements, etc., that probably shouldn't be. So it's a question of deciphering all the information and finding out what is evidence-based, like what is backed in science and what isn't. But to get back to your question, first of all, let me just make this clarification. Fruits and vegetables contain so many phytochemicals, which only fruits and vegetables contain, that boost our immunity. Supplements could never take the place of that. However, I do believe in taking supplements. I do think there are some supplements that are better than others. You should definitely speak to a professional about that. I would, I know what I take and I know what I like. And I would certainly be happy one-on-one to counsel somebody on that. But as far as, talking to everybody here and saying everybody should take this supplement, I don't feel comfortable saying that. And I don't think it would be a professional thing to do so. But I do think you're right. I think there's so much out there that people just don't know what to believe anymore. Because of what happened to me, I started teaching these wellness classes locally. And these women that were coming to the classes were just like in such overwhelm because they were like, I really don't even know what to believe anymore. This one is saying this one is saying that. And what you have to recognize is nutrition is still such a baby science, and new things are constantly being discovered. There are thousands of phytochemicals in fruits and vegetables, and there are so many that haven't even been discovered yet. I think over time, science will reveal that there's even more. Because one of the things I would like to recommend to everybody is to watch the documentary, The Game Changers. Watch The Game Changers and then let me know if you're not convinced to eat more fruits and vegetables. Now, I have decided, and this is my personal choice, to go more whole foods, plant-based as far as a way of eating. I don't like to say vegan because I think a lot of vegans allow sugar in their diets. I think sugar is extremely detrimental. And anybody who knows me knows, oh my God, Cindy, I love my sweets. I love them. And yet, once this happened to me, I decided I'm going cold turkey. And my sugar cravings went from here way down. So I'm practicing everything that I am preaching now about eating more whole foods and plant-based way of eating. Now, I don't believe everybody has to do it 100%. I think even if you did it 50-50, 70-30, 80-20, whatever little steps you can do to eat more fruits and vegetables and get rid of as many processed foods and sugars as possible will help you tremendously in your health.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so you've covered stress management, sleep, diet.
Okay, we talked a little about exercise and
exercise.
One of the things with stress too, we didn't talk about is what's in our heads. The data shows that we have 50,000 thoughts every day. And I've read anywhere between 70 to 98% of them are negative. And that's natural. That's just something that normally people think. It's just, I don't know why, but we go to the negative. So we really need to start working on changing what goes into our brains, because that will help tremendously and bring the stress right down. So one of the techniques I like to teach is, if you have a negative thought, change it into a positive one. So how do you do that? So you say a negative thought pops into your head. Right away, you picture a stop sign. It's okay, stop. That was a negative thought. How can I turn this into a positive one? So for example, you're out hiking and you're looking at this trail and you say, oh my God, that is so difficult. Look how steep that is. I can never do that. Negative, negative, negative. But if you put the brakes on and say stop, you give yourself a positive. You encourage yourself. You say, oh my God, that does look very steep and it's not something I've done before, but I know if I take this one step at a time, I can do this. This is going to be a huge accomplishment for me. So any negative step, if you say, I like to say, Kant was taken to the hospital, the T was taken off, and now you can. So I know that's corny, but I think if you think that and you just kind of like that little engine that could, I think I can, and start changing those negative thoughts into positive ones, it will be extremely helpful for you and, bringing down that stress level. One of the things you and I had talked about before we got on the call was that I believe wellness is multifaceted, that it is really made up of 8 pillars of wellness. We focus a lot on physical wellness, when we talk about the right way to eat, when we talk about exercise and, drinking enough water. Stress management is more of the emotional pillar. I like to talk about self-esteem and stress and the emotional pillar. I cannot see how I could even share my screen right now, so I'm not going to share it, but I will share. I jotted it down so I wouldn't forget all the pillars that I do talk about when I talk about wellness, as a total body wellness. Everything comes back to influence you physically. So whether it's from your emotional pillar, your social pillar, spiritual, financial, sexual, intellectual, or environmental pillar, they all come back to influence us on our physical pillar. Because if you think about it, if anything is out of whack on any of your wellness pillars, it all comes back to stress. And what does stress do? It impacts your body by causing inflammation and causes your immune system to function subpar. So everything interacts. I did an article, oh my God, Cindy, this must go back like 8 years ago. It was called Food, Sex, and Money. What do they have in common? And on first glance, you think they don't have anything in common. But in actuality, when you're looking at your wellness pillars, they have everything in common because they all interact. If one is out of whack, it influences the other. And it all kind of comes back to our immune system and how we function.
Nice.
So has the audience asked any questions or anything?
No, ma'am, not yet. But I did put in there, I posted that, the game changers, I put that in the comment section so people could see that. Okay, so is that all the 7 points? Exercise, stress management, sleep, diet.
Just to review, to lower your stress, improve on managing your stress, work on stress management techniques. One thing I also want to point out, so we talked about maybe meditation, yoga. If you don't know how to do that and you're used to going to classes, there are so many people offering free classes online now that it is so easy to learn things that perhaps we couldn't before. One of the girls I went to overnight camp with many moons ago actually is doing yoga classes online. And I can link back to that. She does a great job. There's a few people I know that are doing that. One of the other things that I didn't talk about, and I know one of your future guests is going to talk about, is smiling and laughing. Oh my God, so important. Smiling and laughing releases endorphins, which is the feel-good hormone in your body. And believe it or not, they help your immune system function better. So I believe that a day without laughter is like a day without sunshine. So it is so, so important to smile and laugh every single day. Oh my God, there's so many funny memes online. You can't help but laughing these days. It's really critical to do that. I think it's super important to find some levity in everything. And I did a little Facebook Live this morning about just waking up every day. And I think all of us have talked about feeling grateful and trying to set a positive tone to your day. One of the most profound things I've read in the sphere of psychology is that we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. So if you choose to be negative, that's how you're going to view every single thing in your day. But if you choose to be positive and optimistic, that's how you're going to see everything in your day. So I think, it's all about putting on your rose-colored glasses and really, see the glass overflowing, seeing it good. Yeah, we're in self-quarantine right now. And I personally believe it's going to last longer than April, which also I believe because of the fact that we really don't know enough about this virus that we should be in quarantine longer. I don't know how long, that's not for me to say, but until something is discovered that can help people quicker who do catch it, and also perhaps something that we can be given, whether it's medication or a vaccine, so we can't catch it. Personally, because of what happened to me in December, I'm super concerned. I don't want to go near anybody, who possibly could have been exposed. But okay, so we talked about, I jump around a lot. I'm from New Jersey. People from New Jersey will understand that we do jump around. Sleep habits, can't stress enough the importance of sleep, and setting yourself up properly for a good night's sleep. And believe it or not, eating more whole foods, plant-based, will help you sleep better. I was shocked to find that out, but that does work hand in hand. Eating right, exercising, drinking fluids, all will serve to, get your immune system in check. Now, I do have a little offer for everybody that I had developed on my site. You and I had touched upon it a little bit before, and I want to tell you my rationale for doing it. Originally, it was going to be a high-priced program where I was going to offer coaching with this blueprint for immunity. But because of what happened, because of this virus, I wanted to make it as affordable for everybody as possible. So it's a blueprint for immunity where I give you tools and resources that can be downloaded, and I work with you. I offer videos with a little coaching, a private Facebook group. Part of the thing, and I think I alluded to before, if I had tracked what I was doing all these years as far as my fruit and vegetable intake, I would have known I was doing something wrong and I could have upped my game. So I developed a tracker to help people see on a daily basis everything we just talked about. How many fruits and vegetables are you eating? How are you sleeping? What's your stress level? Are you drinking enough water? Are you exercising? I think the first step in making any kind of change is becoming aware. And if you're not aware of what you're doing, you can't possibly make a change. So this daily planner is just one of the tools that I developed in there. And I encourage you, to just look at it, see if it's for you. Hey, if we don't start working on our wellness and our immune system now during a pandemic, when are we going to start working on it? It's really critical to do. Mm-hmm. So,
well, we'll get that information from you right before we hang up, and but I don't want us to finish. I mean, I know it's 11:20. Are you okay if we go a few minutes over?
I would talk as long as you want me to talk.
Okay, so tell us about Edorai. Edorai?
Edorai.
Edorai.
All right. Okay, so I have developed a few products on there. One of them, people are a little embarrassed to talk about, but the first product I developed was a sensual arousal cream for women. And women don't like to talk about their sex lives. And I think that, did you ever watch the show Grace and Frankie?
I did not.
Okay, something I would encourage you to watch. Sex and the City, Grace and Frankie, The Book Club, all these shows and movies illustrate that when women start talking with close friends about sexuality and their sex lives, we learn from one another and we grow, right? We actually can become more sensual, more sexual, as the case may be. And if you notice, sexuality was one of the wellness pillars I talked about, because having an orgasm is very healthy for women, whether you're alone or whether you're with a partner. And I know I've had women, I swear, Cindy, they were in their 70s, kind of like tee-hee-hee when I start talking about this. But, this has got to become, more open. And like, my God, Cher Height started talking about this moons ago, about how important it is for women to be more open and free with talking about their sexuality. But anyway, so I developed this sexual arousal cream, which really helps women during the act of having sex. So enough said about that. The next product I developed was a foot cream, the Edorai Soft, Silky, Sensual Foot Cream. This product is it's amazing. And I know this is when you want to learn about it. The ingredients there in there are incredible. What they've done basically is my feet had calluses and, you know, really hard spots. And every time I would go have a pedicure, the pedicurist would really have to work super, super hard on getting my feet soft again. Well, I started using my product over 2 years ago. And, you know, within a few months, right away, he was saying to me, the guy who does my feet, like, I have nothing to use the pumice stone on your feet. Your feet are super soft and beautiful. So he would just, you know, work on the nails and the cuticles. But it really does. Not only does it make your feet soft and silky, but there's arnica in there. So it makes your feet feel better. So a lot of people who stand on their feet all day, it actually helps them. It eases, you know, aches and pains in their feet. It's just a wonderful product. And the last product that I've developed is the Oh So Nice Soothing Cream for aches and pains. And I am super, super proud of this product because I have had people tell me it's changed their lives. I had a woman who the arthritis in her hand was so, so bad, she couldn't open up a jar. And now she says, oh my God, Holly, I can open up jars. I went bowling with my grandchildren, she told me. So it's just totally changed her life. So there, you know, there's a lot of wonderful ingredients in there that work together to allow for this healing. You know, yeah, it's great for people with arthritis, for fibromyalgia, aches and pains, but even people who just exercise a lot or who sit at their desk and, you know, you get the pains in your shoulders, the cream is wonderful for that. If you have, you know, muscle pains from exercising too hard or playing sports too intensely, it's also great for that. So we have those 3 products on the site. And I also, I didn't develop this, but I also sell a bamboo nightshirt. It's bamboo cotton, which is wonderful because everybody, if you haven't, will go through menopause where we get very hot when we sleep. And I stressed how important it is to get a good night's sleep. But these nightshirts are just amazing to get a good night's sleep. And Mother's Day is coming up. So anybody listening, you may want to grab one for somebody special in your life, for your mom or your daughter, sister, aunt, etc. They're just incredible. And, you know, it's hard enough to get a good night's sleep. You want to wear something comfortable, but also you can wear this nightshirt during the day over leggings. I've actually worn it when I've done a show where I was talking about my products, just threw, you know, threw the shirt on over a pair of leggings. So that's fun. We will also be developing other products. I'm working on a lip balm, you know, to prevent or cure if you have very chapped, dry lips. And I'm going to work on another hand cream, but right now the foot cream, believe it or not, just a tiny bit of it is incredible to make your hands soft.
Well,
So,
you didn't mention the product that I want.
yeah, the foot cream.
No, I want the thing that makes them peel off.
Oh, okay, you want the baby foot.
Yes,
Okay.
tell us about that.
So baby foot, I did not invent that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry, I don't have a box here to show you, but the baby foot is wonderful. You would do that, then you would use this cream after that. Okay, so the baby foot is amazing. I was actually at a beauty convention where I met, you know, I met the people who created this baby foot, and they told me, you must sell this on your website because it goes incredibly well with your foot cream. So you put that on and they're little plastic baggies filled with a wonderful myriad of ingredients, right? So you put these little booties on your feet and it's all contained in this box, and you tie it and you just sit there. I think it's for an hour. I forget exactly the time. And then from there, you very carefully walk to the tub, take it off, and then wash your feet off. But what happens a week later is it's just amazing what you're going to find. Your feet peel. All the dryness come off your feet. And you have a baby foot. Your feet are soft like a baby's. And I've had one friend, she's crazy. She showed me, she saved a bag of all the dryness that came out.
Oh,
So disgusting, but she wanted to show me what happened. So some people, like my feet, because I use my cream, really did not peel a lot. But some people who've never done it, you will find it's amazing to see what can happen to your feet. And it's really interesting. People don't realize how important it is to keep your feet healthy, to keep your feet soft. It's crucial. So, starting with the baby foot, and then once your feet are soft, get that peel off within a week, then use the Edorai foot cream. Will keep your feet just soft and beautiful. You'll find you'll love it. I've had quite a few physicians are using my foot cream, and they just really love it.
right. So that's what I want. I want the baby feet
Yeah.
and the cream. That's the magic combo, because I am so tired of having to use that little cheese grater on my feet. I've done it for, I don't know, my entire adult life. I have to go get pedicures, and they're always telling me, gosh, your feet are so calloused and dry and cracked and blah, 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 blah. And I use normal lotions, but I've seen that, how that baby feet works. And I'm like, that's what I need.
Yeah, you definitely could use that, and then use the Edorai foot cream, because it does work. I mean, everybody who's tried it, I have not had anybody say it doesn't make their feet softer. So my feet, because I've just been using it, are just super, super soft, and I'm ready for summer all the time.
Yeah. Well, I want to be too. Okay, so did you have anything else that you wanted to share with everyone as far as building our immunity against this virus? Or, I mean, I know obviously just in general, but
Yeah, it's in general. And the thing is, we don't know. You could be the healthiest person out there. Yeah, you'll be able to fight the symptoms of the virus easier. We don't know enough about the virus for me to, substantially say, yeah, if you do everything I'm telling you, you're not going to get the virus. I could never promise that.
right.
But if you could do just one thing, besides manage your stress, one thing is start eating more fruits and vegetables. I would encourage everybody to do that. It will just make your immune system slowly start building up and getting stronger. And it's interesting, this is a beauty summit too. Beautiful skin starts on the inside. So if you're not eating healthy, you're going to have problems with your skin. I don't care what creams you put on it, but eating healthier and taking care of your skin from the inside out is just as important as using the right products on the outside.
Absolutely. The better you eat, I mean, all those things, the exercise, the stress, all those affect your outer beauty. As beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yes.
But those things do impact your outer appearance.
Absolutely. And water, my God, water in your skin, incredible. That's why it's extremely important for all the other reasons I mentioned, but plus to keep your skin beautiful and moist. The right water intake will help too. So did I cover everything you wanted me to?
I wanted you to cover what you're an expert in, and I think you've done a great job. So, okay, now tell us if someone wants to get in touch with you, or tell us where they go.
Okay, you can email me at holly@thewomensInnerCircle.com or holly@edorai.com. Either one, I get the emails. I would be happy to talk with you. I also do individual coaching, but I think the best way to get started now, it's really the deal of the century, is my Blueprint for Immunity. It's $37, and I don't know how long, we're going to keep it at that price, but that's a great way to get involved with me, because I will do, some education, not only on the Blueprint, but also in the private Facebook group. So, that would be very helpful for people.
And where do they get the Blueprint? Blueprintforimmunity.com?
No, I will actually give you the link when we're over. I also did a whole hour presentation with slides on what we discussed today. I'll give you both links if somebody wants to slowly watch the presentation, but I'll also give you the link if they just want to get the blueprint. And yeah, I would definitely welcome talking with anybody for sure.
And I can post that in the group.
First, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and giving us, you know, letting us see inside your life. I mean, not just your mind, but your life and your heart. It's been great, and I know that our viewers and the people who will be watching on the replay, also everyone will be very glad to learn everything and implement the things, the tips and the advice and the wisdom that you've imparted. Super excited and super thankful that you were here with us today. It's been a good session. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cindy.
All righty. Well, we will let you go. You have a wonderful day, and hope to see you in the next session.
Same here.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.